Okay, so you're listening because you want to get the core insights, like fast. You want the important stuff pulled out. Today, we are diving into, well, the whole dating and crushes thing. It can be pretty funny, sometimes terrifying. We're looking at a podcast script, actually. It's called Date with Crush. Seems pretty lively, lots of stories, advice. Our goal here is to kind of dig deeper than just the funny stories and pull out what really helps in navigating, those early romantic steps.
Exactly. Think of us as helping you see the patterns, not just retelling stories, but understanding the why these dating things feel the way they do. We want you to walk away with maybe a clearer picture of it all.
Right. So Date with Crush starts with first dates. And it really leans into the awkward ones, the disasters. The host even shares this story.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Calling a date the wrong name, like more than once. I mean, who hasn't had that moment where your brain just shorts out from nerves?
Mm.
And here's the interesting part, right? Hearing about those moments actually makes you feel, well, less weird about your own slip-ups.
Yeah, that's a really strong psychological thing. When you hear other people's awkward stories, it kind of normalizes your own. You feel less alone with your embarrassing moments. It builds connection, surprisingly, through that shared vulnerability. And the way Date with Crush includes listener stories asking for those first date fails, that really amps up that feeling, makes it like a shared experience.
Oh, yeah, they shared one, I think it was Sarah, spilled an entire plate of pasta on her date. And herself. That's next level chaos, isn't it? It's so bad it loops back around to being hilarious, the kind of story you tell forever.
Yeah.
So maybe the first big takeaway is just that awkwardness. It's basically part of the deal with dating.
Yeah.
And laughing about it. Actually pretty helpful.
Absolutely. If you can kind of embrace that things might get weird, maybe even laugh about it, it takes so much pressure off. You don't have to be perfect. And that lets you be more, you, which is usually what leads to a real connection anyway.
Which is a good segue into the how-to part. Strategies to maybe have a slightly less disastrous time. Because, spilled pasta is funny later, but maybe we can avoid it in the moment. First tip from the script. Stop overthinking it. Which, okay, easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're totally crushing on someone and analyzing every single word they say.
Uh-huh. But the core idea there is solid. Try to see your crush as just a person, like a normal human with their own stuff going on, probably just as nervous as you are. It helps dial down that mental pedestal we build. It's about focusing on connecting, not on potential judgment,
Okay, and then they get practical. Pick the right setting. This makes so much sense. They suggest stuff like mini golf or a chill cafe or just like walking in a park. Low pressure. You've got things to do or look at. It's not just you two staring across a table in dead silence at some fancy place. That's intense.
Right. Those settings give you a shared context, something else to talk about or do. It eases the conversation flow, takes the edge off those awkward silences, because there's always the mini golf hole or the next part of the path to focus on. Plus, you see them in a more relaxed state, which is, more real.
Then there's the third strategy, the exit strategy, which sounds kind of calculating maybe, but it's not about being rude. It's just having a polite way out if it's really, really not clicking. It's actually smart, protects your time, maybe saves some awkwardness later. The script gives that classic, my roommate needs help with something, a smoothish escape.
Mm-hmm. It's really about boundaries, isn't it? Respecting your own energy and time. Having a plan B just means you don't feel trapped if the vibe is completely off. It's like dating self-care. Because ultimately, like the script says, the best dates are when you're just having fun, relaxed, not forcing anything.
Okay, so we survived the first date, maybe even used an exit strategy, maybe not. Now we're in that tricky crush stage. The script has this listener Q&A bit. And this one question from at Anxious Dater. So relatable. How do I know if my crush likes me back? I don't want to misread signals.
Oh, the signal reading. It's like trying to decode ancient texts sometimes, isn't it?
It absolutely is. That uncertainty is like the defining feature of having a crush.
Mm-hmm.
What the script does well is list some common signs someone might be interested. Things like, do they make time for you? Do they text first sometimes? Do they laugh at your jokes, even the bad ones? Find little excuses too, like brush your arm. None of these are proof, obviously, but they're They're positive indicators, things to look out for.
And then
Yeah.
they go there. They
Oops.
suggest actually asking, just,
Yeah.
putting it out there, which feels huge and scary. The script acknowledges that fear, the rejection possibility, but it frames it as like the fastest way to actually know, to get clarity. Yeah, it might sting short term, but it stops the endless guessing. And hey, maybe it leads to date number 2. Precisely. It's about vulnerability, which is tough, but direct communication. It just cuts through all that ambiguity. It's a brave move, yeah, but it gets you an answer. Saves you potentially weeks or months of agonizing over signals. And the fact that the original source had space for more questions just shows how many different anxieties people have around crushes. It's complex.
So let's kind of wrap up the main takeaways from this date with crush deep dive. First, awkward dates, totally normal. Laughing helps. Find the story in it. Second, for better dates, think low pressure places. Try to just be yourself. And yeah, maybe have that gentle exit plan ready. And third, with crushes, look for consistent positive signs, but also consider just asking for clarity. It's powerful.
Well summarized. And the script really highlights that shared experience, right? The community aspect of sharing stories. It's a good reminder that you're definitely not the only one feeling confused or awkward in this whole dating world.
Yeah, and I really like that final point from the original show. Even the dates that feel like total train wrecks at the time, they often make the best stories later on. Perspective is everything.
It really is. And maybe building on that, the thought to leave you with is maybe embrace just a little bit of that vulnerability in your own, romantic explorations, whether that's suggesting a super casual hangout or being slightly more open. Just remember that every little step, whether it works out quote unquote perfectly or just becomes a funny story, it's all learning. It's all material. You never know where taking that small risk might lead.